So this is my first YouTube video response. It's to Lyle's brother on his video uh, about being young. Young at heart, that's what it was called. Anyway, I'd noticed from watching it and one of his responses to someone else's response to that video. Wow, that's a lot of babbling. Anyway, I noticed a lot of it was perspective, outlook, basically that part of being so young, even when your body isn't, is how you take things, how you perceive things, how you choose to react. And I had left a comment on his page about the video where I had mentioned I have some friends, and I'm 32. These friends are in their 50s, and they act like they're 16. I mean, they just endless energy. And it really blows my mind. I have constant stress between college and everything else. Long story, but I feel fatigued and old, like I should be using a walker. Now these two, one of them, she's been a friend for years, and she's got issue with one of her legs. It's kind of a handicapped in that it doesn't quite work right, so she can't really run, but you would never know. She doesn't let herself get slowed down by that at all. In fact, one time, me and her son were on a team playing ping pong against her, table tennis, whatever. We couldn't keep up. We didn't score a single point. She slaughtered us. She was flying all over the place like some sort of ninja. It was crazy. The other friend that's old yet young at heart, I don't know. He has this outlook on everything. And he reminds you, if you just listen to him and close your eyes, he reminds you of somebody that's 16, not someone that's aged. And I really think a lot of it is not letting things get to you, not getting stressed out, having a more positive or optimistic look when presented with a problem, thinking of ways to fix it, multiple ways, and how easy they would be, rather than, oh God, how am I going to fix this, and thinking of everything that could go wrong. Another thing that was mentioned in the Too Young video was crazy ideas, versus just flat out dangerous, and how you could weigh things and decide, but you wouldn't just do flat out crazy dangerous. If it was like risky, you could weigh the risk and find positive ways to get through it that would increase your chances. And this is something I've noticed too. It's part of the positive outlook, the thinking, the finding solutions rather than panic or dwelling. Another thing to mention would be when presented with a problem and then a bunch more problems, like say at a job or at home, a bunch of chores, which I helped one of my friends that's younger than me, while thinking about these older friends. I noticed he was going through a lot. He was going through a divorce. He was having trouble at his job because they were trying to downsize, so he was having to compete with friends and risk putting them out of a job to keep his own job to help his children, trying to fix his house and all this other stuff. And he had all this to do, and his wife wasn't helping because, I don't know, she was having kind of like a midlife crisis in her early 20s. She was wanting to just party. So he was trying to tackle everything. And his outlook was, oh my God, I've got all this stuff, multitask. And I thought about how my older friends, who seem so young, handle it. You break it all down into separate issues. And then you look at each one, and they're not overwhelming. They're not so difficult. And they're actually quite easy to take care of. And by taking care of them one at a time, fly right through it. Sure enough, in no time, he had his house all cleaned up and ready, and he had spare time. He actually had time to sit down and watch some TV after he put his kids to sleep. He had his laundry done, dishes, the whole bit, whole house cleaned up, you name it. Lunch ready for the next day for him. And his next big sales plan to keep his job. Now, I often forget this, and maybe that's part of why I feel so old at such a young age. I don't know. But it seems to have a lot to do with outlook, perspective, and knowing how to avoid stress. It's getting harder and harder with everything for me to be optimistic, and I keep feeling older and older. So I had best find a vacation, maybe a little fishing, and then re-find how to be optimistic about things, how to break it down into simple problems. And that was my idea. Or my response, sorry.